In April 1988, the Persian Gulf was a high-risk corridor for global shipping. As the Iran-Iraq War reached its 8th year, both nations targeted oil tankers with asymmetric tactics, turning international shipping lanes into active combat zones. To maintain the flow of oil, the U.S. Navy launched Operation Earnest Will. The guided missile frigate USS Samuel B. Roberts was ordered to escort reflagged Kuwaiti tankers through these hostile, heavily mined waters. On April 14th, the mission nearly ended in disaster. While the captain attempted to back the ship out of a newly discovered minefield, an Iranian M08 naval mine detonated directly beneath the hull. The blast tore a 21-foot hole in the ship's side and broke its keel. Both gas turbine engines were knocked off their mounts, leaving the Samuel B. Roberts dead in the water and sinking. Allowing a single American warship to sink would have effectively ceded control of the world's most critical global oil choke point to any force capable of deploying cheap, submerged explosives. Saving the ship required the immediate execution of rigid naval damage control protocols. Despite the catastrophic damage, Commander Paul Rinn refused to abandon the vessel, trusting his crew's training. This diagram of an Oliver Hazard Perry-class frigate shows the critical internal compartments. In just 22 minutes, the crew had to battle multiple fires, isolate massive flooding, and manually rig emergency power to keep the ship's systems alive. Because the main engines were destroyed, the crew activated the auxiliary thrusters at the stern. These backup motors allowed the ship to limp out of the active minefield at 5 knots. The ship survived. It was eventually loaded onto the heavy-lift vessel Mighty Servant II and transported out of the Gulf to undergo extensive dry dock repairs. Following the extraction, Navy divers recovered unexploded mines in the area. The serial numbers on the devices matched mines previously seized from an Iranian military barge. Mastering the protocol of survival is the first requirement of naval presence. With the ship saved and the source of the attack confirmed, the U.S. transitioned from defensive damage control to proportional retaliation. On April 18, 1988, the U.S. Navy launched Operation Praying Mantis. This was the explicitly calculated military response to the mining of the Samuel B. Roberts. The operation began with the targeting of the Sasan and Siri oil platforms. These structures had been militarized by Iran, serving as command and control centers to monitor and attack merchant shipping. The situation escalated when the Iranian missile boat Joshan ignored repeated warnings to stay clear. It approached the U.S. fleet, initiating the first modern ship-to-ship missile duel in naval history. The Joshan fired a Harpoon anti-ship missile at the USS Wainwright. The American cruiser responded by deploying a cloud of metallic chaff and activating electronic countermeasures, successfully decoying the missile into the sea. The American counterstrike was immediate. A combination of SM-1 standard missiles and a Harpoon struck the Joshan, disabling its superstructure before it was finished off by naval guns. In the second wave of the battle, U.S. A-6E intruder aircraft coordinated with surface ships to intercept the Iranian frigate Sahand. The frigate was hit with laser-guided bombs and cluster munitions until its magazines exploded, sinking the ship. Within a few hours, U.S. forces had neutralized nearly half of Iran's operational naval fleet, demonstrating a massive disparity in conventional surface warfare capability. This operation established a geopolitical doctrine that remains today. Any asymmetric interference with global commerce will be met with a devastating conventional response. By 2026, the regional threat had evolved from basic naval mines to autonomous drone swarms and precision coastal missile batteries. This led to Operation Epic Fury, a shift in how the U.S. manages maritime security. Kharg Island is the focal point of this modern tension. It serves as the primary export hub for 90% of Iran's crude oil. The U.S. military utilizes kinetic degradation. As seen on this tactical map, the objective is to surgically dismantle an adversary's defense network. During the 2026 strikes, the U.S. hit 90 sites, including drone pads, radar stations, and coastal batteries, leaving oil storage untouched. Sparing the oil infrastructure transforms the island into an economic lever. By holding the nation's primary revenue source at risk, the U.S. forces the adversary to choose between de-escalation or financial ruin. Any disruption to the Strait of Hormuz causes immediate market volatility. It triggers a surge in maritime insurance premiums and forces global shipping to reroute, adding weeks to transit times for essential energy and goods. Securing the Persian Gulf today is a precise calculation of military force and economic pressure. These strikes are designed to neutralize offensive threats while preserving the shipping lanes that maintain the stability of global energy markets.